You ever find yourself stuck in a crazy traffic jam just thinking, why is it always like this? Or maybe you've seen trash piling up in a beautiful public park and just felt that sinking frustration. Those aren't just little daily annoyances. They're actually symptoms of something much, much bigger, an invisible force that's shaping our lives and our nation's future. And that's exactly what we're diving into today: civic sense.
Just take a look at this. A river, something that should be a source of life for our country, is literally choked with garbage. So who's responsible? Is it the government's job to clean it up, or maybe some big factories upstream? Or is the answer a little closer to home? Maybe it's in our communities, maybe it's even in our own hands.
And then there's this. We've all been there, right? The daily gridlock, it feels completely hopeless, like it's just an unsolvable mess. But is the problem really a lack of roads? Or could it be about how we, as individuals, decide to use the roads we already have?
Our parks, our public squares, the places that are supposed to belong to all of us, often end up looking like this. You see, these aren't just separate random problems. They are all connected. They're all tied together by one single powerful idea that can either hold our society back or propel it forward.
So what is this big idea? In Nepali, we have a name for it: Nagarik Chetana. You might know it simply as civic sense. Now, it's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but what does it really, truly mean? And more importantly, how could this one concept hold the key to unlocking our country's true potential? At its heart, civic sense is actually pretty simple. It's the awareness that your actions, even the small ones you do when nobody's watching, have an impact on everyone else. It's not about being afraid of getting a fine from the police. It's about genuinely caring for your neighbors, your community, and your country. You know that old saying, "My freedom ends where your nose begins"? That's basically it. It's a shared responsibility.
So let's get practical. This is what civic sense actually looks like day to day. It's the little things, right? It's waiting for the light to turn green even when you're late. It's holding on to that empty water bottle until you find a dustbin instead of just tossing it. It's about paying your taxes, not just because you have to, but because you understand that money builds our schools and our hospitals. These small, everyday choices, they're what define us as a society.
And here's the amazing part. When enough of us start doing these small things, something incredible happens. We begin to build trust in each other. Experts call this social capital. Think of it like a community bank account, but instead of money, it's filled with trust. The more we each contribute by acting responsibly, the richer our whole society becomes. And a society that's rich in trust is a society that just works. It's a society that can truly prosper.
Now, this idea of trust and social capital, it's not just some nice feel-good theory. It is the real, measurable engine of national progress. And you don't have to take my word for it. We can see it in action all over the world. Let's have a look at a few examples.
Okay, take a look at this chart. You've got Japan, Singapore, the Nordic countries. These are very different places with very different cultures, right? But they all have one thing in common: a really strong culture of civic sense. And what else do they have in common? Well, they consistently top the charts in human development, things like healthcare and education, and good governance. You see the connection there? It's crystal clear. Civic sense isn't just about being polite. It's about building a better life for everyone.
Think about the last time you saw news coverage of an earthquake in Japan. In the middle of what should be total chaos, you see something remarkable. People queuing patiently for supplies, neighbors helping each other, communities working together to clear debris. That's not just the government stepping in. That is pure civic sense. It's a deep-seated feeling of shared responsibility that makes their society incredibly resilient.
All right, now let's talk about something nobody loves: taxes. In countries like Sweden or Denmark, people pay some of the highest taxes in the world. And for the most part, they do it willingly. Why on earth would they do that? Well, it all comes down to one word: trust. They trust that their money is going to be used well to fund amazing schools, top-tier healthcare, and a safety net for everyone. Imagine that, a system built on trust. That's the power of civic sense at work.
So we've seen how this works in other parts of the world. Now for the tough part. It's time to bring it back home. It's time to take a hard, honest look in the mirror and ask ourselves, where does Nepal really stand when it comes to civic sense?
Let's start with our roads. It's a tragic fact, but we have one of the highest rates of road accidents on the planet. And it's not just because of bad roads or old vehicles. A huge part of it is how we behave on those roads. Every single time someone recklessly overtakes on a blind corner or speeds through a red light, they're not just risking their own life, they're contributing to a national health crisis that actively holds back our country's development.
Look, we all want a better Nepal. We have big goals, right? We talk about clean cities, strong institutions, a great future for our kids. But then we step outside and see our rivers clogged with plastic and hear about corruption undermining public trust. There's a huge gap, isn't there? A gap between the country we dream of and the one we live in. And that gap, it's filled by a lack of civic sense.
And here's the absolute heart of the issue. The problem isn't that we don't have enough rules or laws. We've got plenty of those. The real problem is that we lack a culture of actually following them. A great plan on a piece of paper is just paper. It's the daily actions of millions of ordinary people that actually turn a plan into reality.
So, what now? It's easy to feel a bit overwhelmed by all this, isn't it? But here is the good news. The solution isn't some massive, complicated government program that has to come from the top down. The real solution starts from the bottom up. It starts with us. It starts with creating a virtuous cycle of change.
Check this out. It's a powerful loop. And notice where it begins. Step 1, strong civic sense. It starts with us, the citizens. When we act responsibly, we create a society that demands better from its leaders. That leads to good governance. Good governance leads to real human development. Better schools, better healthcare, better opportunities. And you know what? When people see that their actions are making a real difference, it reinforces their commitment, creating even more civic sense. It just keeps feeding itself.
So, the next time you're about to cut in line or you're tempted to just toss that wrapper on the street, remember this cycle. That tiny choice you make in that single moment, it's not just about you. It's so much more. It's like casting a vote for the kind of Nepal you want to live in. Every action either strengthens this cycle of progress or it weakens it.
And so we end right back where we started with a question. But it's a different kind of question this time. It's not about finding someone to blame. It's about taking responsibility. It's about taking action. We simply cannot wait for the government to fix everything for us. Nation building isn't something that happens in some distant government office. It happens right here, right now, in the small choices that you and I make every single day. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What is your small role in building our nation? What choice will you make today?